So the question asks, why did I decide to take this journey and not become a victim of my surrounding? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. You're Ray Miller here. Do be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also send this to someone that might be able to receive some sort of inspiration from this video. You might never know. All right, so definitely be sure to share this video. All right, guys. So yeah, as the question states, as the title states, we're gonna be speaking about a little bit on my background, and how it shaped me to be the individual that I am today, irrespective of all the negative, that came from it. As you know, I am from the community of Seaview Gardens, that's in Kingston, Jamaica, and Seaview Gardens is labeled as inner city, the ghetto. And lots of persons, not everyone though, but lots of persons has a perception that, it is really difficult to do good in the ghetto, which under circumstances, that is true, but it's not impossible, and that's why there is lots of good coming from the ghetto because there's a chance to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I must say I'm a perfect example of reaching the end of that tunnel, reaching my fullest potential. I'm not currently there as yet, but I'm in the process of doing so, and I want to share my journey to someone else who might feel as if they can't excel because of where they're coming from. But really and truly, let me tell you, 6 months ago I was living in Seaview Gardens, and I'm now here pursuing a higher education to becoming the best version of myself. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it as well. If I can do it, you can do it as well. Now, let's give a sort of background on what Seaview Gardens are, or like what it is or what it was like for me growing up. My personal experience. So living in Seaview, it was a lot of gun violence, honestly. It was lots of gangs, especially in like the earlier parts, like when I was like much younger, you know. It was much more gun violence back in, those times. It's still happening now, of course, but not as predominantly as it was back then. And I have a couple of experiences, from growing up. It was somewhat harsh. So, in the inner city, right? Obviously, you're gonna have friends. You're gonna have people you talk to. Associates. And you play football with Sunday time and all that, and you have different football leagues, and you and your friend them link up, and you go play a ball game. As I say, quick kick two ball, easy back. Everybody get ready for go to school. Sunday, and yeah, things like that. You get me? And sometimes you'll just be playing football, right? Or maybe just hang out with your friends them, or you even in your yard, you're at your house, and all you hear is boy, boy, boy. You just have to take away yourself. You understand? Pure gunshot start fire, and yeah, whatever find them yard, the place get quiet. No noise out the road. Everybody lock in, and everybody look out and listen. Fear what go on down. The next thing here, people start screaming and ball and get messy, and then police start rushing and take up body. It was like that. You get me? But seeing all that, you know, many persons would have say, it must have been difficult to try to see a different side of life when you grow knowing only one thing, right? And um, I would say no, it's not difficult because let me tell you, right? At a young age, right? I believe you have control over your life. Like everyone has control over their life, you know? And why I say this is because no matter how young you are, right? You're going to do whatever you want to do, irrespective of, persons on the outside. For example, let me give an example of what I'm trying to say here. There is a mother and a father in a kid's life, right? Trying to nurture and guide that kid to show him the right path. You understand? But he wants something different, something that is totally opposed to what they want for him. Irrespective of the beating, the talking, the rules and restrictions, if that child wants that path, right? Maybe you could get him to, or he or she to refrain from doing it at a point in time. But if that path is not what they want, then trust me, as soon as they get old enough, they're gonna just go at whatever they wanted to pursue initially, right? And as I'm saying that, I'm saying is that it's all a mental and mindset thing. Now, sorry, if you guys know, well, most of you guys would have already knew, or if you're rather new to this channel, I never had a mother in my life. I never had my mom in my life. I had my grandma. Sorry, guys. I had my grandma, right? She was like that mother figure in my life. I had my dad, right? But I grew with my grandma, and my grandma was um, the type of person which was like really, really, really strict. My grandma was really, really strict. Like certain things that other teenagers got to do, for example, got a ball ground to play ball often, right? I couldn't do. Like, I was the type that they call house rat. Up until a point, of course. I was the type that they call house rat, because if me try to go ball ground to play ball, then 15 minutes after my grandmother realized a minute in the yard, she gonna come for me, right? And she now come empty handed. She come with the belt. You understand? So that was it for me. I was like under that strict restriction, and I mean there was valid reasons. I understand the reasons. As I said, Seaview wasn't a normal place, especially when I was like much younger. Wasn't an easy place. You understand? Many person dead, lots of person died, and she was just taking necessary precautions to ensure that I wasn't a victim of the hands of the guns or the violence that was going around, you know. So I understand, you know, and yeah, eventually as I got older, you know, maybe about in my 14, 13, you get me? Um, it was like I just, football whenever I feel like, grandma has no problem. Of course, 1 or 2 times, same way. Maybe when she want me to go to shop and I'm not there, she kind of complain, but yeah, go out and keep my ball and come back in, do my book work, assignments and from school, etc. Right. Sometime after I finish, go and link my friend them, so dependence, maybe until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and just a chat and a laugh. You understand? Not no it's ordinary, and yeah, it was like that for me growing up. You understand? And that's like any other normal teen living in the inner city, you know, like play about their friend them and talk about lots of foolishness. You understand? And then make fun of each other. You get me? Fight. You get me? I say just like a normal teen life growing up in inner city. It was like that for me, like any other normal teen life, and probably even worse at one point. You get me? I say I remember one point growing up, I had to do without electricity for like 3 months. 3 months, and you guys know how hot place Jamaica can be, especially with mosquitoes. You understand? And um, at that time, I had exams doing like end of term, end of year exams. You understand? So I had to study through the heat. You get me? It's like I know rock bottom. And if this was my situation and I'm now here, obviously I have light over my head. Sorry, guys. You can also do it, right? And I'm going to tell you how I did it. All right, cool. Now, I went to Normandy High School back in the inner city, Maxfield, which was which was worse than Seaview. You understand? Everybody is supposed to know about Maxfield. Everybody's supposed to know about. If you know about Maxfield, you know about places like Frog City, right? Bad place in Maxfield. You know about places throughout Waltham, Chisholm Avenue, everywhere like that. You get me? I say I was up and down. You know, sometimes as I'm saying, when I was in grade seven, I was so unsettled. You know, sometimes after school, I got me until after 6. You know, upon road with company friends. You understand? Until obviously I got some sense. You know, and yeah, so that was like my background growing up. Up until a point, of course, up until maybe at the age of 15, 14. I remember I told you after seventh grade, I kind of buckled down. So when I went into eighth grade, things was different. You understand? So up to a point of about 15, 14, 15, I buckled down and I started choosing my friends wisely because I realized at one point my friends are like going into something different. You understand? Like things that were against my personal ethics, my personal morals. Like, I just know they weren't right, they weren't right. So I had to just, take myself and just like take my time, ease away from those friends. You don't drop them same time because then it's gonna look like you are this thing. Like, yeah, style them on your urine, the body a switcher. You me say just take your time and make time do it, like make time pulling apart. You get me? I say like if I know you usually hang out with your friend at this time and evening times you want him to hang out, you get me? I say they just stop the things like that. You get me? As a time say, yo bro, something I'm busy because I have this to do. You understand? And over time it could just fade away. Like whenever you see your friends going into a different path, just don't drop them same time, but just stop hang out with them as much as you would. That was like my remedy to like, start a change, right? I started a change there, you get me? And when I look, some of them died, right? I even had a close friend, right? RIP Matthew. Was a really, 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 really good youth. You get me? I say. Went to know Monday, me and Matthew fight in a eighth grade. And they gave us this punishment where the teacher had us holding on to each of the ears and holding our foot. You get me? And yeah, I mean, me and Matthew, like from that, we were good friends, like good friends. Like Matthew was my brethren, me I tell you. You get me? I say like Matthew, when we in class, Matthew was like, "Oh, can bright like Urian. Them man are the smartest man." You get me? I say like, you know, he usually motivate me. You get me? I say, you see me? I say, and we can still a reason with Matthew. You see me? I say Matthew was John no stars. Matthew was a good youth. You see me? I say Matthew was a good youth. Matthew, I'm a general in a real life, guys. In a real life. In a real life. Matthew was a good youth. And Matthew is an example of, what I'm going to say about friends and company. You get me? In grade 10, Matthew lost his life to the hands of guns. You hear me I say? And personally, I don't know Matthew to be in gun violence. You understand? When I heard it, and I heard the news, it was really shocking. You get me? Because I tell you, yo, like youth had potential. You see me? I say like, I knew Matthew was gonna be something good. You see me? I say maybe he wasn't the best in his schoolwork, but I'm always putting the effort. You understand? You see me? I say always putting in effort. You get me? I say sometimes, he's this type of guy, like it brings vibes to the class. He brought vibes to the class. Like when he really settling them schoolwork, I tell you, he's really focused. And John know. Because he had friends that were influenced by the guns and violence. He lost his life in grade 10. Never got to sit CXC. RIP Matthew. And I think things like those, shape my perception to say, many persons took up the gun violence. Many persons took up the yang yang back them to look cool. I mean, you have some persons like that's their fun. In terms, I'm talking about the young bike, the young like the bike. Some persons that's their fun. You get me? Like, I mean, their life, their fun. Okay, that's all right. But you have other persons that, sorry guys, they take up the gun, and they think it's cool. They think the man gets ratings from them friend. You understand? I think that's what they're looking for, like ratings. So yo, made it done for yourself. You see me and saying then couple years later, they just lose their life like that. And I mean, where really gain from it? You get me? So I look into things like that and say, yo, that's not for me. So like if any of my friends are gonna try to go down that path, then they're just not my friends anymore. And I'm gonna take my time to distance myself from them. So that's what I did. That's what I did. Right? That was the first thing. That was the first thing I did. Just distance myself from those who I realized that non-progressive, etc. And then after I did that, it was time for me to know to choose my friends. You understand? And as I said, I don't want to have bad energy with anyone. You get me? Sorry. If I'm going to distance myself from someone, I won't tell them why. For one, that's the first thing. I won't tell them why. I'm just going to just like stop doing the usual. And as I said, eventually it's just going to fade. Right? So as that happened, it's now time for me to choose my friends. Right? And when choosing my friends, you get me? I had friends that went to Jamaica College, Kingston College, Calabar High School. And then I wondered to myself, why don't I have friends or many friends that goes to school like Tarrant, Haley Selassie, Penwood High School, you know? I wondered to myself. But the answer was so clear. You understand? The answer was so clear as to why I don't have friends that, went to those schools, you know? And I'm not saying that it's only bad pitney that, went to those schools, right? It's just that they're in the minority, right? So it's like there's a stereotype on these schools to say that, oh, these schools are done school and I don't want pitney to go to these schools. But it's not like that, guys. I don't think these persons who place the done stereotype on these schools are actually meant to use the word duns. I think what they are meant to use is the word bad pitney and not duns, right? Because there are lots of bad pitney which are excellent. It's just that they waste them time. They're not duns. They're excellent, but they just waste them time because obviously company, right? They follow company, they waste the time. Whenever they should be doing their schoolwork or studying, they're out, you know, on the streets nighttime, just like what I usually did. But I changed because I realized that, we're really not gonna win, honestly. And yeah. So it's not necessarily that they're duns, it's just that there are lots of bad beating them rude. You understand? There are also good ones in the school who are not rude and they are good. You understand? But they're just in the minority. Hence, there's a stereotype to place on the school because, the bad beating them is just too much. You get me? So when I look into it and I said, okay, you know, I guess I'm just gonna have to stick with these friends that I had going to KCJC. Up to this day, we are friends. You understand? And all my friends right now are going to university, and that's something I'm proud to say. All my friends are going to university right now. You know, and I might have one or two who is not going to university, but they are doing exceptionally well in their life right now, in terms of like job opportunities. They are doing really, really great. And I'm proud of that, right? That's how I want my surroundings to be, you know? To how let me prove like, show you guys, elaborate and give a more figurative, idea of what I'm saying here, is that to how I started choosing my friends, I went into places I never expected myself to be, like I went to places like Campion College to perform, you know. I went to places like uh, Arden to like, debate, all things like that, because I was a part of my debating club, and I met people from these, institutions, right? And they were progressive, really, really progressive. You understand? And as such, I realized how their lives were much different from us in the inner city, just by the way how they think, their mental mindset. And I was like, this is amazing. I mean, again, it wasn't all of them. It's just that they were more good in the schools than bad because they're bad near every school. You understand? But it's just that on these schools they were more good. You get me? And I realized myself starting to speak English, and persons might ask, "How do I speak so well?" Well, that's the answer. You know, um, I started associating myself with persons who just spoke standard English, like honestly standard English. So it wasn't since I came here I started this. I learned how to speak standard English. It was ever since I was in Jamaica. You know, it just came natural. You understand? So that happened, right? My perception of things changed, right? And bear in mind, this was not due to a parent calling me down saying, "You rain, do your bookwork, you rain, keep them friendly." No, guys. And I think with my experience, it's going to also aid me in raising proper children. And I still get into that, you know? But yeah, I never had parents calling me down the saying, things like that. It was just my mental mindset. And that's the path that I wanted. If I wanted a different path, I wouldn't be here, right? I really wouldn't be here. I'd probably be doing something else. That wouldn't be so good. So yeah, so I changed my friends, got some great friends, friends who were progressive, you understand, and yeah, everything started to change from there. Now, other factors that kept the burning fire was of course due to mommy's situation, but I don't know, that honestly, guys, that wasn't even the worst of it. That wasn't such a big factor. Like, it's a factor. It's a factor knowing that, hey, I'm the only child that mommy has who is in the best position to get to a place where I can help her, right? I knew that, but that wasn't the only factor. Remember, I grew in a household where, you know, it's not poor, like poor, 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 like bad poor, but we're not rich. We're not even middle class. You understand? And I was just tired of hearing, grandma complain that, you know, she don't has money to do this, and bills are pile up, and she owes this, and she's worrying about this, and she's worrying about her light being cut off. And if I say, "Grandma, you know can I get this?" She doesn't have the money. I never once complained. I just understood the struggles. I mean, when I was younger, yes, I did complain. Of course, you're younger, you want things and you're not getting it, so you're gonna feel away. You understand? But as I grew older, I understood the situation, you know, and I was like, "John, no, you get me?" It was just harsh seeing the family like that, you know. And I mean, the situation hasn't improved much, but it's just great knowing that someone is out there behind the scenes doing their best to get the family out of that situation. You understand? And that's what, I think keeps the family going, like that's good, you know. So because of how I saw my family struggle, you know, how I remember myself sweating in the heat, you know, and how I remember myself having no food at times, how I remember myself, you know, having to go to school, right? Sometime with minimal lunch, and just know that, hey, I just have to do this, you know. Oh, I remember myself studying on my housetop and could only watch the plane fly over my head and was like, I must be in a plane one day. I don't know how, but I must take a plane one day. And all I could do is just hold by my head down and look in my book to read it. You know? When I remember all these things, I say to myself, it has to end one day. One day it has to end, you know? And I just went back straight to my book. I went back straight into my book, knowing that one day it has to end. One day it all has to end. I mean, it's not there as yet because I mean, I'm here now. It is a work in progress. I have lots more work to do, you know, and I'm just happy with the progress. But yeah, all those factors, led me to knowing that, hey, have to get a different life, man. Have to do something different. Like when I look at other people, like other youths coming to school, wasting their parents' money, they're in the most recent shoes, the freshest haircut, and they just waste the money. Me, I said, John, no, John, no. Your people make it so hard to give you what you want to feel comfortable, and this is what you're here doing. You know, it was a pain to see. You get me? But as I said, guys, because of all those reasons, my mentality was different. My mentality was shaped so much different from the average teenager, from my average peer. You understand? And I kept pressing on even when things were hard. So that happened. That was my background, right? Find friends, that were progressive. Realize that hey, you know, my family is doing this. Is in a position like this. I need to do my best to not only help my upcoming family, my personal family, but to also be able to, help my family that helped to raise me to be the person I am today. And guys, um, there's like lots of persons who are like currently in the position that I was in terms of like family relationships, and they're wasting their time, but they won't realize until it's too late, until it's like at a time where all the opportunities that they should have got in life has just passed them. And I never wanted that to happen to me. I wanted for every opportunity that came my way, I knock on every door and take the fullest drive. You understand it? So yeah, I did that, you know. After high school, everyone was happy. It was so great seeing my family jump for joy, knowing that I did so well. It was a proud moment. It was a great achievement. And honestly, I never knew what I was gonna do, but I knew I wanted to do something different, and not just maybe look for a job right out of high school, you know, or make a decision that I won't like, or you know, do something that wasn't in my vision. You understand? So, out of high school, I just basically, I say, you guys already know, I went to UCC, did my time there, you know, and well, my 2 months actually, transfer my credits over here because I got 2 transfer credits. So my time never actually waste. You see, guys, everything is just comes, everything just comes so perfect. My time never wastes at UCC, because I still was able to transfer 2 of the courses from UCC over here, and it less my tuition. You understand? So that was good. You understand? And I made it out the ghetto, guys. I made it out the ghetto. I'm here studying. You can do the same as well, right? Things will not gonna be easy, me. I tell you, things not gonna be easy. Things for me right now, things still not easy, guys. But me have to wall it to know say how better I come. It never get easy until you reach a final destination. And even when you reach the final destination, it not go easy because when you go into the field of like the working life, I experience it, right? Managers can treat you so bad that you have mental, you know, like it feels like you're having a mental breakdown, right? Managers can treat you bad, but with experience, guys, and you rank up in your field, I'm telling you, it's gonna be great. So I'm saying to all the Ghetto youths out there, is it me I say to you, say, yo, if me can do it, you can do it as well. Zine, yeah, so just make mommy proud, make the family proud, make everybody proud, and know say, yo, Ghetto youth can shine as well. Sorry about that, guys. See me I say. So don't play fool, don't farm fool, don't play around, don't waste mommy money. And know say yo, she work hard for everything we shall give. When you just have it, don't crumble, don't feel pressured because when you show signs of pressure, mommy I get pressure knowing say, oh, she can do this for you, but you still try your best to make sure you take the best life possible. You get me, I say. And to the mothers and the fathers, I would say don't try the older way to like, I would say from a personal teenager view who are basically just got out of childhood, you know, they're pretty much, just got out of childhood. I would say don't raise your children to instill fear in them. Don't beat them. Like, children are so amazing. Like, they're so cute. They don't even know what they're doing. You understand? Even at the age of 12, 15. I mean, yeah, they might have sense to know, see how, something is foolishness, like, But talk with them. I mean, talking might not work for everybody. You get me? But like beating won't work either. Because as I said, if a child wants to do something, irrespective of how much I beat them, I'm gonna still do it. My granny beat me to play football. Forgot background. And I still went out, sneak out with my friend and do it. You get me? So all I'm saying is that sit down with them. You get me? Like have a real life conversation with them. I mean, they might not see it at the time because they're so young, right? So they might not see the future. Not I don't think everyone is like that, every teenager. But maybe if you sit with them, you understand, try not to get a third party, like someone on the outside, to like be in that conversation between you and your children. Like, I think a one-on-one parent conversation, like let your child be able to trust you. Let them be able to know, hey, I can come to mommy, talk to me about certain things, talk to mommy about certain things and feel comfortable. Like hear where they're coming from. And some things they might come to you and say might be so stupid, it's foolishness. But don't be harsh on them. Like don't rush them. Remember, the brain is nowhere close to develop. Not even my brain is fully developed right now. Not even my brain. You understand? I still say some foolishness. Everyone says foolishness. So just take your time with them. Show them love. Show them love. Even when they don't do so well in school, show them love. Help them with them homework. You understand? Like, I don't know, like be active in your life, but just don't put fear in your children because that's not the best solution. Don't beat them. I mean, sometimes we might say they deserve some whopping, but I mean, there's other routes that they can take. There's other routes. Understand? And you know, watch their friends as well. I don't necessarily be like up in your life, like up in your life, but just watch their friends because your friends are gonna play a big part in shaping who you are. Remember, I told you, it wasn't my grandma that gave me this, set piece. I mean, my grandma was in the background, like, you know, she was always telling me what she wanted from a bigger brother and what she wanted him to be, and that kind of gave me a little motivation to say, all right, grandma, make a better person than what we want bigger brother need to be. You understand? I'm gonna be that grandson that you wanted my bigger brother to be. You get me? So yeah, you know, watch their friends, like ensure they're not, with any bad company. You get me? And if they are, sit and talk to them. You understand? I mean, if talking doesn't work, I know you love your child, I know you love your children, but it's gonna be their life, their decision. You know, irrespective of how much you beat them, whop them, you know, irrespective of how much you try to talk to them and they're still not here. I mean, their life, their decision, and whatever consequence come with it, they're gonna have to bear it. And it's just unfortunate, but that's just how life is, you know. And I think all these youths need is just exposure to a different side of life because many youths haven't been out of the ghetto to see an next side of life. I think if many youths were able to come out of the ghetto, see an next side of life, then trust me, it would be so different. So different. With that said, guys, that is why I chose this part. That was a good explanation, I believe. That was a good answer. Detailed answer. So yes, guys. Thanks for watching. I know it's weird seeing my video. Well, I know it's weird having seen it's now night and I'm making a video right now. But yeah, I was just actually finishing up with my work, and I was saying my brain, always think about things at this time, like always have the best idea at nights. And I don't know why, so that's why I'm here. My brain gave a brilliant idea and it was like, this might be useful to someone. And yeah, hope it was, guys. So do have yourselves a wonderful day and do keep safe. All right, guys. Take care of yourself. And, of course, want to see your ring coming this close to the video. Of course, I'm going to edit. Have yourselves a wonderful day, guys. See ya.